Hi, this is Juan Maclean, and I'm at Amoeba Records in Hollywood. My first two selections here are Nick Cave record. I think this is his first record with the Bad Seeds. It's The Firstborn is Dead. And also From Her to Eternity, which I think was the second Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds record. I was a huge Birthday Party fan as a kid. Well, when I was in high school, and became, of course, a big Bad Seeds fan following Nick Cave's career. But I actually met Nick Cave last summer when we were playing a festival in Barcelona. There was a woman who was responsible for taking me around, getting me to and from the festival site, and it was time to go to the festival. She called me down to the lobby, and I sat down next to her on the couch, and there was a half cup of cappuccino sitting next to her. And I said, well, who else is here? And she said, oh, well, and then she pointed, and it was Nick Cave. She said, this is Nick Cave. We're driving over with him as well. Do you mind? No, not at all. And all I could manage to say was, I said, you know, I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I have been a fan of yours, you know, since the Birthday Party days, and you're a really big inspiration to me and influence in my whole music career and that kind of thing. And he laughed and said, well, at least you're still here now. And he said, I'm sorry, apologize to your parents for any of the damage. And actually, he was very nice. The only time in my life I didn't really know what to say was meeting Nick Cave. I don't know what you say to someone like that. Really nice guy, though. I have a more contemporary record here, this M83 record, which I've only heard one song by them, Kim and Jesse, which is something of a blog hit, I guess. I have to admit, it's one of the things that I discovered through Pitchfork. And actually, this stuff seems to draw upon a lot of 80s electro pop music influences that I draw upon as well. So, oh, and I have this John Cale Vintage Violence. It's John Cale, of course, of the Velvet Underground solo record. I've always loved sort of brooding male singer-songwriter types. And people like John Cale or Leonard Cohen, Nick Cave, of course, Nick Drake. And of course, grew up as a huge Velvet Underground fan. So then taking quite a U-turn or a left turn or something. This is a new 12-inch by Steve Bug, who is the guy at Poker Flat Records, which is a sort of minimal techno, electro, housey label. And of course I DJ regularly, and I really like Steve Bug stuff and Poker Flat stuff in general, so buying these kinds of records, I tend to just buy them by label. Like I'll pick up a Poker Flat record just because it's on that label. So I have no idea what it sounds like. And I feel like buying 12 inches is a little bit hit or miss like that. So we'll see. On a similar note, this is a record by Omar S., who is a contemporary Detroit techno guy. And I've actually been really influenced by a lot of early Detroit techno, and still people that are in Detroit now making techno. And this last one, to say, I picked up because of the sort of staff recommendation from Amoeba, which is actually why I like coming to places like this, especially trying to buy dance music records, 12 inches and that kind of thing, because there's so many of them, and you can waste so much money trying to hit upon a good one. But this is Stefan Goldmann, and I've had records of his before. He's kind of electro housey guy, and it's called The Art of Sorrow, which I really liked. That was a great title. But this description implores you to buy it because there's only a few copies, and once they're gone, you'll never get your hands on it again. And when I read stuff like that, I have to admit I get suckered into buying it. But again, coming to a place like this, I always feel like I can sort of trust the things that are up on the wall. I think that's a big part of coming here, is actually finding stuff that's sort of curated by employees of the store. I play only vinyl, which is why, again, this Amoeba and the one in San Francisco, when we're on tour, we have actually scheduled days off to come to the stores, to these stores, to buy records. Because everyone in my band as well, we only buy vinyl, we don't buy CDs or anything. At DFA, it's sort of I feel like it's become a sort of like badge of honor that we all play vinyl, and people, other DJs often say like, well, it's so hard carrying records around, and we're always like, well, you know, it's hard getting up and going to work in the morning. Like, it's not hard to carry around a record bag with records in it. Like, that's not difficult. Last time we played in LA, I was standing outside of the El Rey. Right after we played, I went outside, and these 3 12 or 13-year-old kids came up to me very sheepishly. They had bought Juan Maclean t-shirts and 12 inches vinyl. After they got over their initial shyness, they said, well, we want you to know that we're aspiring DJs and we only play vinyl because we know that you and James Murphy, like basically my friends, DJs, people at DFA, we know you guys only play vinyl, and we've heard you talk about how that's what a real DJ does, and that's what we do. And they had bought like, you know, 10 copies of our 12 inches. And then a car pulled up and they said, sorry, we have to go, my mother's here. And they all got in the car and drove away, and it made me so happy.